Welcome back to the Customer Success Festival APAC Reloaded. I hope you enjoyed the event so far. Again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all speakers, attendees, and partners. If you do like our content, please head over to customersuccesscollective.com and check out our membership plan. With the CSC membership, you'll be able to have full access to on-demand videos, templates, framework, exclusive articles, and also rewatch all the presentation videos of this event. Now it's time, sit back and enjoy the next session.
Hi everyone, my name is Shirley and I'm the Global Head of Customer Success at Immutable. I'm really excited to be chatting to you all about account growth and some lessons I've learned from 3 startups. I suppose account growth is everything customer success does, so it's really lessons about everything that I kind of have done over the past 7 to 8 years of being in tech and have been customer success in particular. Now the agenda today, I'll do a bit of introductions about myself and the experience I've had in startup land. And then I want to go into account growth. So talk about who and why. And we all know why it's important, of course. And then I want to share 5 key learning that I've had along the way. Again, they are really general customer success learnings from 3 very different startups I've been part of. So my professional experiences so far, I've been very fortunate to be part of 3 great Aussie-based startups, and being close to product engineering and the founders is something that I really value. In early 2015, I started to work at Safety Culture. So most people may know about Safety Culture, one of Australia's tech unicorns. And when I joined, I was probably employee number 30, and my title was Head of Customer Experience, Head of Customer Success, and I was coming in to try to figure out how we take this amazing product to market. Safety Culture is a mobile-first tech startup, and it enables businesses to digitize and modernize and revolutionize their safety and quality operations. And its flagship product is iAuditor, which is a mobile app that you can complete a quick checklist on your mobile device, and all of that data is then sent back to HQ, and it is a really good way to have eyes essentially in the field. It's been adopted globally, and we expanded really rapidly in the 4.5 years that I was there. And I led both APAC and the global customer facing functions. Of course, as the business grew, we had regional offices, and seeing the scale of the go-to-market functions expand was something that was really, truly special. In terms of revenue, we grew from, kind of less than $1 million annual recurring revenue to over $45 million when I left. It's incredible. We went from Series A just after Series A invested by Blackbird to Series C. Employee count, I was number 30. When I left, about 370. And the go-to-market team went from kind of 1 person when I joined to about half of the team size. We had offices around the world, starting in Townsville, which is an amazing kind of Aussie startup success story. And we quickly expanded to the US, the UK, and also had a Manila enablement office. And that experience was great. It taught me a lot. And when I had the opportunity to apply what I learned at Safety Culture and work on another exciting venture, I jumped on that opportunity. So I then became the Head of Customer Success at Hatch, which is an Australian startup, and is very driven by its mission to reimagine and redesign the future of work, especially for young people. And I was responsible for kind of strategies and execution of the go-to-market functions, and also end-to-end lifecycle management. We achieved quite a lot during about 16 months while I was in that role. Revenue increased drastically. We also launched projects during the time I was there, during COVID, that helped redeploy displaced workers into alternative employment. So that was a really rewarding and exciting project that I was part of. The go-to-market team also grew, and as I mentioned, there were some pretty exciting things that I was part of. And from 2021, so that's the last year, I joined Immutable as a global head of customer success. And in this role, I work with customers post-sales, again, a very much end-to-end customer lifecycle management role. And we have solution architects, we have onboarding specialists, we have integrations, we have customer support and partnerships, account management. Those are all the parts of the job that form what customer success is at Immutable. And we're just getting started. We're really evolving very rapidly. Immutable is a crypto blockchain company. It's Web3, so very innovative, and customer success team is on a journey to evolve. And in fact, we're in a stage of kind of rebranding the team, and perhaps very soon we won't be called customer success. But yes, that's just kind of a little bit of additional flavor I thought I would add. Across all of these three startups, the things that tie them together is obviously the customer or the partners or the clients or accounts, however you name them, and the services that we provide to enable their success. And there are three different types of customers and services. So we have B2B, B2C, and then also businesses that are B2B2C. In the three startups I worked with, it is very much, we call ourselves B2B technology businesses, but really at the end of the day, we touch the end consumers of our businesses that we service as well. So on the B2B side, usually when you call your customers, your clients, your accounts, you're talking about enterprises and sometimes SMBs. You also have partners, or channel partners, and the qualities of B2B businesses are typically they will have outbound sales team, they will have enterprise accounts team. We're talking about high stakes but less volume, or like you would have kind of high value accounts, but there are not a lot of them. Very much one-to-one enablement and support, and there's lots of kind of custom builds and integration work that would need to be undertaken. On the B2C side, the customer is very obvious. It's just individual consumers of your product or your services. And you would have partners such as marketplaces or aggregators where your consumers can go in and consume that service or the product. There may be resellers, and I think hardware providers potentially would also be one of the channel partners, and third-party software as well to bring value to your end consumers. The qualities of B2C companies are transactional, as high volume, probably lower stakes, and one-to-many community and support is a foundation of success. Then you have B2B2C businesses, and this gets a little bit more complex because you have customers, you have clients, you have accounts, you have key accounts, you have strategic accounts, and you have partners, and partners may also be ranked from super strategic to those that are a little bit kind of smaller. And the quality is there are many segments, many personas, and there are lots of customer journeys. So think the three startups, we all fall in B2B2C. The first one is a mobile technology that enable businesses and their end consumers. The second one is a talent marketplace. So we have businesses on one side of the marketplace, we have young talent or individuals on the other side of the marketplace. And now at Immutable, we have partners or strategic accounts that we work with, and they have their end consumers. So for example, a large blockchain game, they are our partner or our client, but the players themselves will be our end consumer, and they also consume the platform, parts of the platform that we build. I think we've also have all seen this customer funnel, so it goes from awareness to education, and then kind of in terms of acquisition, so sales bring in volume, and CS onboard and renew and expand these accounts. How do these all link together to my learning? I think I do want to reflect on these 3 startups. I want to be confident that this is what we want to achieve, which is end-to-end customer enablement. So bring them in, educate them, and activate and also expand or the use of the product across all of our customer bases. So now what are these learnings that I've gained along the way? I have 5 key ones I'd like to share with you. I think number 1, it's probably more targeted at leaders in this space. A lot of people talk about scale, and it's really easy to talk about scale, but what I think the most important thing is recognizing that scaling comes after the grinding. There simply isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. If people are taking a playbook they built for their previous business and then taking it to this current business, it's either a very crowded market, everyone's the same, and it's unlikely that it will give you the return that you were looking for, or it's just wrong. You simply can't just take what you know worked from the previous business to the next one. In my experience, I know that I certainly couldn't. So there is a period of learning, and that period of learning means understand the customers, be completely customer obsessed. And I know all customer success professionals know this. It's just talk to as many of them and understand what works today. And that means those things that are working today essentially are the opportunities that you can think about scaling. So maybe it is a conversation that your CSMs are having with a customer, and those questions that are being asked are really resonating with them. Then there could be a blog post, or it could be a video, or it could be a webinar, or it could be a AMA to specifically address those questions or those information gaps that your customers may have. And also when you're talking to your customers, I think this is often missed, is not only to talk to the customers that you have today, the ones that are really successful, the ones that are evangelists, but also talk to those that you think could potentially be a good fit for your product or your services, but they didn't continue using this product or service. You want to understand what happened. Talk to as many of them as possible, because those gaps essentially are the things you can solve today. And if you can solve today and you know how to get them over that hurdle or that difficulty, then that's something that you can scale in the future. And I think tools and systems, it's interesting as well. There may be people that come in and all they want to do is bring a new system or a new tool because they used it before and they think that will work here. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's a perfect tool. There is no magic bullet. So use what you have today. Be data driven. Don't overinvest in tools and systems until your data is telling you something. So the data might be in Google Sheets. The data might be in Looker. So it can be very sophisticated, or it might just be, bit of a quick and dirty. Whatever it is, get the data and see if you can get insights from it before investing in tools. And it sounds very unscalable, but in my opinion, it's better to get the insights and run reports and understand what you could do today and tomorrow than investing 3 to 6 months in an implementation of a piece of new technology. The second learning that I have is that sales is really hard. And I think for customer success, there's often a tension between the CS team and the sales team. The bigger it gets, the more prominent it could be. But I think the best CS teams are there to enable their sales team and their BD counterparts. I've been very fortunate to have very great BD counterparts in my experience, whether it be global offices or it may be, in local offices. and to enable the CS team to help with the sales and the management of accounts and expand them, we need to have aligned incentives between CS and BD. On the BD side, perhaps it's more about net new revenue, not gross new revenue, so that the BD team is aware that when they bring an account in, and if they just churn very quickly after, that will take away from the net new revenue for that quarter. At Safety Culture, we had team targets for the customer success team, and it was 50% on net new revenue and 50% on monthly active users. So that's acknowledging that half, or perhaps more than half, of what we did was to help the BD team close deals and help with conversations, with proof of concept, etc. And at Hatch, we didn't have any sales team, so actually it's very, as I said, it's very early stage startup. So the customer success team owned acquisition, conversion, and expansion. Essentially, our co-founders were more the BD machines, and we had a really strong relationship. Now Immutable, the customer success team owns all the revenue targets post-sales. And the incentive structure that we put in place will be on revenue targets, very similar to BD. And lastly, I want to say that we don't want sales to oversell, we don't want to undersell. Training enablement on sales skill was so key for a go-to-market team. If there are sessions on how we qualify an opportunity, CS should take part of it. If it's about negotiations, about conflict resolution, CS should definitely be part of those training and enablement. And lastly, as in that dot point that I have at the end, is high-performing CS teams consist of great salespeople. They just have more skill sets. And it doesn't have to be a negative tension. I think it's that we will have more understanding of the product. We will have a more strategic view of what the customer is trying to achieve in the long term. And we should use that as a toolkit to enable our sales team. The third lesson is to find one or two metrics to obsess over as a customer success team. The reason is that there's so many priorities in the world of customer success, and it's very easy to be overwhelmed with the amount of work that's ahead of us. But then how do we measure the impact? Being busy and going to meetings back to back is actually not a good indication of productivity or performance. The only measure should be quantifiable and achievable and actionable measures that we put in place for the customer success team. And especially when a business scales really quickly. And Safety Culture, and also here Immutable, scaling is something that we're going through or have gone through, and having that metric that we know is important and we measure ourselves consistently is really, really key. So how do we find that one or two metrics? It doesn't have to be too complex. I think all you have to ask yourself is, what do you want your customers to do to be successful? Is it to activate? So for example, just create a login, and once you have their details, you're able to then provide more services. Is it for them to adopt certain features? Is it for them to buy something? Is there like a revenue target? Or is it for them to continuously do more in your platform? And then some examples here could be, there may be a conversion target for the team. So you can constantly obsess over how many people come from one part of their life cycle to the next. In terms of adoption and activation or expansion, it could be about daily active users, weekly active users, monthly active users. Some very kind of common measures. At Immutable, for example, we obsess over trading volume. How much are people doing on the platform? And of course, there's revenue as well. if that is something you choose for your CS team to really think about and drive, those commercial enablement is really important. And once you've found those metrics, you can then understand how you can incentivize the team. And I say don't be scared to put targets on a CS team. They're not a sales team. People always say we're CS, we're not sales. However, the best CSMs I've ever worked with have never shied away from targets. In fact, they are more driven, they're more motivated because of those targets. And it shouldn't be repetitive. Having targets means that it gives room for innovation for your team. If they're just doing QBRs for the sake of doing QBRs, should you automate them? If we're doing account check-ins over and over again, could that be automated as well? Or could that be content that's sent out, or be reports that is that customers can refer to at a period of time? The things a CS team should do should be really innovative. It should be about how could my customers or my accounts be really successful tomorrow, and how can I challenge the status quo? The fourth lesson is about hiring. And we all know people are the most important assets in the business. And I really believe in diversity. And I think I learned this over time as well. At the start, I thought I could have really great generalists. I could do it all. But very soon, that was not scalable. I think having subject matter experts in the team is going to make everyone else more successful. And how to do that is it's about the structure. It's about segmentation. It's thinking about what your customer journey looks like and putting in place a good team structure. And then on top of that structure, you can have different subject matter experts to jump in and help at a specific point along that customer journey. For example, at Mutable, we are doing very innovative things with our partners at all times. And they're going to be a specific part of their journey where they're going to need more enablement, such as community building, such as marketing, such as pricing or tokenomics for kind of their NFTs. So all of those things mean that if we can bring someone who has subject matter expertise in the area, they will speak with authority, but they also empower the CSMs to do their core job really well and not have to go and learn about something else. They will learn, of course, and there will be someone that can guide the customer through their whole life cycle themselves. But I think having those individuals in the business, they don't have to sit in the CS team, but having them empowering the CS team is really key in a high speed, fast-paced environment. And I think in terms of hiring, it's always tricky. Australia is a small market. I've learned to hire for potential and find the soft skills that is really important for a team. And also find people that complement the leader's skill sets at the start, and then find more people that complement their skill sets. And also, always during hiring is hire slow, fire fast, or when you have a doubt if someone's the right fit, it probably isn't, so it's a no. Lastly is about operational excellence. I think customer success needs a lot of operational support and rigor. And it doesn't mean that within the customer success team, we have to think about all of that by ourselves. So from experience, what's really worked is within the customer success team or outside of the customer success team, at least in the broader go-to-market team, have an ops team. Have some ops people as early as possible. At Safety Culture, we have go-to-market ops and revenue operations, but that was after our global offices were established. They really helped to bring global alignment, but if we could have them earlier, I think things could have been done a lot more efficient, and learnings and insights could have been shared more effectively. At Hatch, it was relatively operation heavy environment, so we had a generalist operations team, and they did things like administration, research, and entry into new market and data and reporting. That was so helpful for the CS team, who was doing a lot. And at Mutable, we now have a go-to-market ops team who is incredible. They set up successful strategies and they manage lots of processes across the BD and the CS team. And of course, the focus of a strong ops team, everyone probably know this, is people, system, and processes. That really is what leaders think about, and that really lighten the load for all of the customer success leaders out there if they had a strong ops team to empower them. So those are all the lessons that I'm sharing with you today. Thank you for spending the last 25 minutes with me, and please feel free to connect with me via LinkedIn. You'll find me by searching Shirley Anderson and Immutable. Thank you so much.